And some folks gonna get mad when I say this, but it's the damn truth. In 2023, there is no reason for anyone to become pregnant that does not wish to be. This is not a game. Um, it is much cheaper to buy a box of condoms. If you want to go about it as naturally as possible in terms of contraception, it is super easy to buy condoms, or you can go see your GYN ladies. Very few men are willing to, particularly if they are young men, are interested in having a vasectomy. They want to put their right to create, um, and women just have to be a little bit more cautious since we are the ones that get pregnant and give life. And we can look right now at, what happened during COVID when people right before COVID started didn't know one another very well. They met that person maybe um, in December of 2019, November, December, around the holiday, maybe around the New Year, with no idea that once they moved this person in a couple of weeks later that um, that person couldn't leave because folks had to be quarantined. So that right there, unless folks are just like equally yoked and you still don't know them, not in a couple of weeks, not even in a couple of months, but to be locked in with somebody that you don't know, or be locked in with somebody that you do know, but that you were ready to make a break from and COVID hit and you couldn't. And so we got all these COVID babies. Um, and I am prayerful and hopeful that the parents of those babies, are working it out because kids don't ask to come here. And we do have, far greater choices than our ancestors had. Um, and we have to be more proactive about making choices that are going to serve us best. I need to step away for 1 minute and throw my turkey in the oven. I was waiting on the beep. I'll be right back. Thank you. Back. Thank you. I'm gonna make some turkey and rice soup. Back to self-love is so gangster. Let's get back on the sex on the table, decoding black sexual politics. Like, there is just so much to talk about, and I don't want to. While I started with the meme of the brothers having the conversation about the pregnant girlfriend. Next week, we're going to look at some things that sisters need to work on in terms of balancing things out and just being authentic. Because the goal is for everybody to be authentic. Bring your real best self to the table. When you are looking to connect with somebody, and I say that whether that's a personal relationship, whether that's a friendship, whether that's working on a relationship with a loved one that has gone south, and y'all want to get back to being loving family. It all comes down to, I think, balance and boundaries. Balance and boundaries. Like, if we all incorporate those two things into our lives, we will be able to move better and move with more authenticity. Everything that looks good to you isn't good for you. That's a real one. And I think what I found in my 12 years of intentional celibacy, I do not date. I am working on building my business. I want to I will publish another book next year, and I want to do 2 workbooks. In addition, I have 5 grandchildren, 1 angel grandbaby, so there were 6 total, but I have 5 on this plane. And my goal as an artist and as a community agent is to bring creative arts into communities and be able to offer them at affordable and accessible rates for families. Um, I am most distraught about the lack of activities available for poor and working parents while kids were out over the summer. Um, I'm here in Vegas, and you can work 2 or 3 jobs if you like. You can work yourself right into a heart attack or a stroke. And I say that to say that because parents are working so much, and because the rents have elevated so much, and because the cost of buying a home has elevated so much since the pandemic, people are doing what they have to do to have a place to live, right? And so often that has left young people to their own devices while parents are at work, and it is not easy to balance all of that. And the difference between 2023 and 40 years ago when I was a teenager is that there were programs available and there were places you could go and hang out as a teenager and just have a good time. And some of those places were, available to everyone. The local recreation and community centers, the mall, and then so much happened in the 80s and 90s that, the kids they just can't go to the mall and just hang out. You got to have a chaperone. And that is unfortunate for the kids that are out here not causing trouble, because those that get into trouble make it impossible for everybody to be able to just have a place to go. And that is going to be, I think, at this point on communities to fix on their own. I don't think the government is going to do a whole lot of intervention. And we saw that also this summer as scores and scores of youth were arrested around the country for things like vandalism and unfortunate shootings that just don't have to happen, but do because young people are not getting what they need from us. And I say us, even if you're 20 and you got good sense, you got a friend that's going down the wrong path. As a friend, I would hope that you would say something, because you're the one that has common sense, and hopefully you can get them to think about what they're doing before they get in trouble. I worked nonprofits for decades with young people, youth programming, and youth events. And what I know is that when you tap into a kid's creativity, which is why I believe in the arts so strongly, and you let them just begin to dream about what it is they want to do, and you give them some tools and an area to work out and practice and play, you're going to see some good things. Another thing that I think saved a lot of people in my generation was Little League. We had somewhere to be, and you had a responsibility to your teammates, and you had a responsibility to that athletic community to show up. And we got to get back to it. And all of those coaches, my mother including, who coached cheerleading and softball, those are all volunteers. And if my mama could do it after teaching middle school math all day, and she taught math for 52 years, and come and work with more kids, but for free. If she and those other parents could do it in the 70s and 80s, then there's nothing stopping us from doing it today. And everybody has something that they bring to the table. And I really think we just have to look at that, because we are losing our babies at an incredibly young age. And I don't just mean physically, I mean also mentally, emotionally, when they out